Welcome back to Off the Map. We are talking cheddar, smoked cheddar burgers, and privilege and freedom. Glad to have you here once again. If you haven't checked out my earlier videos, check them out. They're fun, informative. I hope you get something from them. And don't forget to remember, like, share, comment, and subscribe. All right, y'all, let's go off the map. Outside. Got all the supplies, about to fire up the grill for some burgers. This is an important part right here. Hickory wood chunks. Soak them for about 10-15 minutes or longer. Get you a nice flavor when you got the regular charcoal going. So, yeah, the regular Kingsford. See what's going to happen next. Off the map. Say what's up, Derek.
Hi, YouTube.
He's the burger man. He ultimately he will be the arbiter of whether these are going to be good or not. So let's see what's up later on. Beautiful McKinley Park, tennis courts, basketball courts, playground, volleyball. Got a jumper party here. Not so much off the map, but it's a good place. Just hang out. Now that you've seen a little bit of the park, now we're going to go behind the scenes a little bit about the process here. And you see we got the grill going. It's just a little mini grill, got from Home Depot. $35, one of the best investments I could have made. Can go anywhere with you, beach. Right here, we got it in the park. Very versatile, easy to pack up and go. So you can barbecue anywhere, every day, all day. And so you see we got the smoke going. I got some hot links on there with some chicken apple sausage. The coals are regular Kingsford charcoal, but like you saw earlier, I got hickory wood chunks in there, and that's adding the extra smoke flavor. So yeah, that is a key secret. Getting that extra smoke flavor, it adds a key difference element to your food. So you will see the difference in color, and definitely notice the difference in taste. So that's one of the must do's. And you see we got people coming in, people coming out, people showing up. And yeah, it's just a good time here in the park. And you see the smoke coming from the grill. And that's that flavor. So you see the process. Hope you enjoy. Smoked cheddars.
The burgers were delicious. There was just something about using charcoal to cook your meat and eating in a delicious burger just at a picnic. It's a really cool experience, and it just makes the food taste that much better. Also, using mayonnaise and hot mustard, it's a really good combination.
All right, I'm open. Got it. Bang.
Yeah, me too. Little baby girl,
Now let's walk off all that good food we just ate and show you a little bit of McKinley Park and have a little talk about privilege and freedom. All right, y'all, let's go off the map. What's up, everybody? We are off the map once again, and we're here at McKinley Park here in Sacramento. It's actually one of my favorite parks here. There's so much to do here. There's playgrounds for kids, there's a swimming pool, library, basketball courts, tennis courts, volleyball, places to barbecue and gather, lots of open space where you can walk. There's a rose garden. Just a wonderful place just to relax and be out in simulated nature. But here in the heart of Sacramento, East Sacramento to be exact. And today, we're going off the map. And it's not a usual adventure type off the map situation here, but I just wanted to talk about privilege and freedom. And there's varying degrees, I feel, there's varying degrees of freedom that you can obtain in life. And we're all in a system, right? We're all somewhat trapped in a system. And there's varying ways that you can attain that freedom. And that freedom that you're comfortable with is essentially your privilege. And here in the United States, there is so much wealth. There is so much material wealth. There's so much money here that we have a lot of privilege. And you see the terms, white privilege, male privilege, all these terms being thrown around. But privilege can apply to anybody. And to me, and what I see, privilege gives people the opportunity to just really ignore reality, right? Because they have the privilege of ignoring the reality around them. When they say white privilege, right? You have the privilege of ignoring the experience of others around you, right? Because you have a worldview that doesn't affect, that is not impacted by other people's experience, whether it be historical or current experience. And black people, we have privilege too, right? We have a privilege of being able to ignore certain things being here in the United States. And so everybody, I feel like, has a level of privilege that they kind of exert. But being comfortable in that privilege is something I feel all Americans kind of experience to a certain extent. We've been, a lot of lies are being exposed. And the belief in a comfortable lie over the uncomfortable truth is a privilege in itself. We can comfortably live out. There's all kind of bugs over here. But I feel like we can comfortably live in falsehoods here in the United States because we do have those type of things available to us. Let me cut that out because we have people going past. They're playing rock, paper, scissors. Let's see who's gonna win. You gotta go best of 3, at least. But the privilege, right? The privilege of being able to live in a comfortable lie, rather accepting the uncomfortable truth. And that goes for everybody, whether you're black, white, brown, yellow, green, you're a human being. And this crosses nations' boundaries as well. Everybody has a level of privilege. And when it comes to privilege versus freedom, right? When you have the privilege of being comfortable with a lie, ultimately you're giving away your freedom. You're giving away your freedom for the truth. And it's, in my almost 40 years on this planet, it's better to find your growth and find your freedom rather than to be stuck and comfortable in a lie. Because ultimately, lies are going to be exposed. Like Cat Williams said, all lies will be exposed.
All lies will be exposed. That's all.
You know? And that's what I wanted to talk about today. You know, how being stuck in that comfortable lie, that privilege of being stuck in a comfortable lie. We're going off the map here at McKinley Park. I'm here with the Canadian geese. But the privilege of being stuck in an uncomfortable lie is extracting our ability to be free. I think I'm going to say that again. Our willingness to be stuck in a comfortable lie is taken away from our ability to be free. And that's more apparent than ever, especially here in the United States. And that's why I wanted to get on here today and talk about, right? Because freedom is a struggle. And whether it's financial freedom or, you know, freedom from physical, mental things that are keeping you trapped in certain situations, it's a struggle. And every historical fight for freedom has been a struggle. It's never been given to you. And part of that freedom and part of attaining that freedom is having discipline. It's so important to have discipline. Discipline, you know, I'm not perfect. And so I'm just sharing my off the map thoughts about how things can really become better for yourself, because these are things that I've learned and made for applied to my life to better myself. And one of them is stop believing in the comfortable lies. You know, yeah, we'll say off top that, you know, may be controversial, but COVID was basically a red pilling moment for me. That there were so many lies being told during that time, and being trapped in that, I felt a lot of anxiety. I was having panic attacks, you know, like, oh, this and that, this and that. And then when you actually go out and discover the truth for yourself, you realize that the chances of COVID really affecting me were quite low. You know, I didn't have any comorbidities. I didn't smoke, I didn't drink too much, worked out, had good health metrics. So relatively, you know, safe situation. And people are still literally still programmed to believe some of these comfortable lies, but a lot of it has faded since those times. And it's just interesting to see how far we've come from that time. But yes, freeing yourself from the comfortable lies and embracing that uncomfortable truth and growing in that takes discipline, because it's easy to fall back into that comfortable lie. And one other thing I want to talk about is financial discipline. Right? You can talk all you want about all the goals that you want, the things that you want to do, but you gotta have discipline financially if you want to have financial freedom, right? If you want to be free from any addiction, you have to have discipline to fight against those addictions. The impulse to do drugs, the impulse to gamble, the impulse to be over sexualized, you know, it takes discipline. And I'm not perfect. You're not looking at a perfect person, but that discipline is something that I strive for every day and something that I'm working on every day. And particularly financial discipline has been one of my biggest successes so far in just a year. You know, I follow this guy, a Wall Street Trapper. This is not my account, but follow Wall Street Trapper. And this is the kind of gains that you can get in one day if you play the system right. Just creating a system, following the system, and being disciplined enough to keep investing in the system and not panicking and reacting off impulse has put me in a position where I can see myself being free in a financial aspect if I keep it up. And that's where the discipline comes in. And the comfortable lie is you're rich if you have a nice car. You're rich if you have nice clothes. You're rich if you're able to do this and do that. But if you're making $200,000 and you're spending $200,000, you're not free. You're trapped in a cycle because you lack the discipline and you react off impulse. You know, if you thought about most people and how we make decisions, and if you were to describe a situation and say, hey, would you rather have one cookie now or two cookies later? You know, when you break it down like that, most people are like, you know, I'm gonna go for two cookies later, right? Or would you have 1,000 now or 10,000 later? You know, most people are gonna say, I'm gonna wait and have the 10,000 later. But getting to that point takes discipline. So do you have the discipline to get to the 10,000? Do you have the discipline to wait for the two cookies? Because in real life, it usually plays out, I want it now. You know, YOLO. I can't wait. What am I going to wait for? I want it now. And that's the trap. That's the comfortable lie, because it makes you feel good. You're reacting on your impulse. You're getting that instant gratification that you feel you deserve, but you're really extracting your ability to be free by being comfortable in the lie. And yeah, it goes back to the privilege thing here. In this country, we have so much wealth and so much resources that we can be comfortable in the lie a lot more efficiently than other places. Way more efficiently than other places. We are comfortable in the lie. So, I know this is a little different from my off the map adventures, but go off the map and get comfortable with the uncomfortable truth. And keep that discipline, because that's going to keep you, that's going to get you to your freedom. Y'all, reading is so fundamental, and these public libraries is your free resource for you to use and gain the knowledge that you can get, because it's so true. If you want to hide something from somebody, you put it in a book. All right, y'all, let's go take a walk and enjoy the rest of this park. Fountain is a gift to the city from the parents of Frederick Birdsall Kiesel, whom this lake is named. Lots of beautiful open space, bathrooms, basketball courts, my favorite sport. I even want to get hooped on. He ain't ready. Guess maybe the truth is I ain't ready. So many birds here. You got the mallard duck, the wood duck, the American coot, the cormorant, the black crown night heron, green heron, and of course the Canadian geese. Tons of Canadian geese. Thank you for joining me, Jelani, and this has been Off the Map with Jelani. And don't forget to remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so when I upload new content, you can see it. But really appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. I hope you got something out of it. And please leave a comment. I want to know what you think. So as always, do your best and be your best. I'll check y'all later.